Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the opportunity to serve our community here in the City Council meeting. I pray to be with us. Give us wisdom, give us peace, and bless everyone that is working on behalf of our city. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will have a closed meeting tonight after the regular meeting. In your package, you have the minutes from the November 20th meeting. The motion is approved.
Motion.
Second. Any questions, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chairman is not represented. He's not represented. Finance,
Don't have anybody tonight?
sorry.
Nothing at this time.
Any resource?
We did have a meeting last week, took care of some stuff, and we'll bring that up in the next meeting, but other than that, we're good.
Please.
I think the police department's doing great, that's all I gotta say.
Street,
At the request of my neighbors, I'm gonna pass tonight. Yeah.
must be the season.
you.
Stormwater. Will pass twice.
I'll pass twice. We have some issues, but we're gonna have to deal with those within the committee.
Okay. Departmental reports, fire.
I have ordered the tranquilizer guns that was approved for the, one for the police department and one for the county patrol. It'll be probably 4 to 5 weeks before we get them, but in doing research, they seem to be the more quality type that uses a 22 blank and it allows you to dial in. They're rated for 0 to 70 yards, so that gets you a pretty good distance on them. So they have a training videos and some different training programs that can go along with it. We're trying to go down through here. We did get a notice from the Department of Health and Senior Services, which is also the Bureau of EMS, that we are now a certified and accredited training entity for continuing education unit and any type of first responder program, EMT program, things like that, through the state of Missouri, which is a big plus for us. That means any of the training we did just helps to recertify and helps to keep people's skills alive through an accredited program. So, we got that. I'd like to thank the Kent Police Department. We had a fire at the Compress Properties last night, and secondary one today. The one last night is what fueled the one today, and I'll explain that in a minute, but police on patrol had seen the smoke and we got notified, which was a big plus. And it was in the new warehouse, which is not sprinkled, but it didn't damage the building. And it was a pretty good sized fire in cotton, like 75 bales probably. The labor intensive part of it was having to lay about 500 feet of hose in there to get to the fire. So it took us a little bit of time. In doing that, they had to bring the bales out through the other warehouse, and we suspect what happened was probably an ember or spark that was coming down through there may have gotten into some of the other bales. And we got a call about right before 8 o'clock this morning, and that was in the sprinkler warehouse. There was about 100 bales in there, so you got about 175 bales of cotton that are outside now. Hopefully, they'll burn up over the next couple of days. but there again, the building itself was not damaged. We got a hold of the mayor, and they do have the sprinkler company coming in to reset the sprinklers before we get a good hard freeze. Street department was very instrumental in getting us their skid steering, where we could, the employee of the cotton warehouse management, they got the bales to the dock and dumped them off the dock where street department, Keith Westfield, could get the skid steer, get them over to a pop, and that helped out really well. Hopefully, told them to keep their time, cotton bales are insured, we can maybe recoup some of the cost on that. Other than that, we're doing really well on getting alleyways cleared. And, that's moving along, at this time. We did get the owner of the railroad property, has taken a bush hog and cleared a lot of that back up through there, and looks a lot better than it has. So, still haven't seen no service workers yet, though. We got a lot of trash along that fence. But anyway, that's pretty well all I have tonight. Any questions? Yes.
I've been kind of looking a little bit into the tranquilizer gun that we're looking at, and I'm kind of seeing complications that I don't think we were aware of. One of them being we're going to have a controlled substance that we use to tranquilize the animals. It's going to have to be in a certain environment, and
Yeah, you can't let it get too hot, too cold.
and so now what we're talking about, we're going to have it in 2 places, and we're going to have a local veterinarian that's going to have to sign off on us and deal with us a little bit there.
From what I've read on it, there's not been anything, the companies that, we're looking at a company called New Dart.
Okay, is it, looking at some of the complications, would we be wiser to, I don't know if it's possible, but to purchase one gun right now, let the police keep it, because the police are always open until we get this all
Well,
settled down?
I've already made the purchase based on the past approval.
Okay, so it's too late then.
Well, the only thing is, I mean, animal control can have one handy with them in their vehicle and probably be able to use it faster than what we have to go up to PD. It'd be hard to assign that gun to one officer and have him keep it, because he may be off when they have an issue. So animal control having one handy would probably be pretty beneficial.
I'm not sure though if they're gonna be able to have the vial with them though, is the problem. That's what
I'll call the company and do a little more
Okay,
research.
that's my concern, is that we'll have to keep it in one place to keep it as a usable substance.
Well, they have 2 different, we purchased 2 guns, and then there's what they call a kit. There's a kit that's set up with certain size syringes and stuff like that. Also has some training syringe darts in there as well to practice with. So let me call them, I can call them and get back with you and find out what they say.
Appreciate that. Sounds good. Thank you.
We've also looked at, maybe in the future, there's several models out there of what they call a net gun.
It's a lot more expensive though, right?
They're a little bit, what they've got, some I don't think they're quite that expensive.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Police,
I don't have anything for the public this time.
street,
Go over a couple of things. Construction season's over, we've gotten all that taken care of.
Construction season's over.
We will, I'm not saying if the weather turns good that we won't do some more patching and stuff. But, you know, the contractors works. With the freezing temperatures, it makes it a lot harder for even a cold patch to stick, so. On the back of your street department report, I guess I'll emphasize this for just a minute. We've got a couple of pieces of equipment out of service. The cat loader, one of our mainstay pieces of equipment went down last week. The air brake system is messed up. It won't hold air and therefore it won't release, so it is in the parking lot. We're waiting on a mechanic to get here. We've got hopes that they'd get here today, probably get here tomorrow. There's a calibration thing in there to look at, so if we don't get it fairly quick, maybe we'll, I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know if you can do the calibration that they said was in there, so. The sweeper was out of service for, I think it was 14 work days. Got the technician here from the company. With his computer, he couldn't locate the electrical problem in it. We had to get online with the factory technician, and they spent about 4.5 hours finding it. Because there were so many fault codes in the machine that every time they'd go to one, you know, they might reset it or whatever, and then they'd go somewhere else, and this type of thing. Finally got the part fixed, got it overnighted in. The sweeper ran Thursday afternoon and Friday and yesterday. And I lost count without going back and counting the sheets, but I think when we ran a dump truck with the sweeper to cut down the time of it being in transit. The sweeper can dump 3 dumps of leaves on each dump truck. And I believe we hauled 15 loads in those 3 days out to the compost. Plus, when the sweeper would come in to get water or various things, you know, so there was some more done. And you go look at the streets today and you're gonna say, you really did all that much? Yes, we did. But with the rain over the weekend, we got a lot more leaves down on the ground. Plus our good citizens that help us out by cleaning their whole yard still and taking all the leaves to the street. We've had several visits with some of those people over that. The camera truck,
Excuse me, is there an ordinance against,
yes.
how do we enforce it?
It's part of what we're gonna deal with committee-wise. I don't think there's anything that we can do at this point, but, we have something in the, in our,
What does the ordinance say?
Put leaves in the yard, in the street.
Or grass.
Can't put any yard clipping, leaves in the yard clipping.
it has no teeth to it.
What's the, what's the
What? We've had, discussions on who can write tickets and such, and there's no, Victor can't write tickets for it. That's, I'm sorry?
I mean, he's not issued a ticket book and either are property maintenance, that's what come up the other day.
We issue citations on property maintenance, citations all the time.
After 10 days,
Yeah.
but 10 days, leaves are either gonna be in the
But they write the citation, turn it into the city, and I sign the tickets.
So is it an enforceable
Yes,
ordinance?
yes, it is.
All right, so may I explain how to enforce it?
I guess I may be unclear on this. You sign the tickets, who writes those tickets?
On property maintenance, it's usually property maintenance officers. They don't write summons like, they don't have a summons book like a police officer does, but they do have the notice of violation, which they send to the landowner and, or the property owner. And then after 10 days, then I sign it. They turn those over to me and I sign them and file them with the court.
Can the police officers write a ticket?
We also have something in our stormwater
Same
management
day?
act as well.
Same day for the police officers?
Sure. Yeah, this isn't like property maintenance. I mean, problem solved.
I mean, my biggest question here is, for the police department, the issue too, we're basically dealing with criminal matters. This is not really a criminal matter.
It's infraction.
Well, most criminal matters on city ordinance violations or infractions. And I understand that, I think it probably should be a property maintenance who.
Is there a
issues
problem with
the
issuing a property maintenance a ticket book and let them write them?
Not to my knowledge,
That's what's been asked, is if we could do that. It was stopped, years ago they could, but it was stopped at some time because there was something about an audit and they wanted to keep up with the numbers in the books. But, I mean, that would be real easy to do. If we could work that out, I think that would be the best.
You know, I think if it worked out, then if they're issued a citation book, because the course administrators want most things in the city court to be on a uniform traffic ticket or a uniform citation. They can be issued a book and you keep up with it just like anybody, just like a police officer keeps up with it, then you just keep up with it.
But,
Manage it.
but at the same time, I think police departments realize, just like the other day when this came, complaint come in, you got 2 part-times and this is the end of the year, they're taking their vacation. There's no one available, so you have to resort to someone else that could write that summons or that ticket citation.
Well, the point I'm making is that there's nothing in the law, there's nothing in the ordinance which says the police officer or property maintenance officer has to write the tickets. And that's just something that needs to be worked out administratively.
So if somebody's not available with code, then the police department would be the logical next step. Is that correct?
That's,
Again, that needs to be, you know, that's something that needs to be worked out administratively. But there's nothing in the law, nothing in the code or that prohibits anybody authorized to write tickets from writing the ticket.
can the part-time maintenance officers write tickets too?
Sure.
So always one of them will be on duty, right?
No, you got 2 part-time. They may not be on duty. I mean, on Fridays, they don't work because they're on the 29-hour rule. So if it happened on Friday, and you had Victor off, like the other day, he was in a series of meetings, the light and water, he wasn't available.
Well, I think it's something that can be worked out.
Yeah.
We can get it done.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
yeah. It doesn't sound like it's real complicated.
Police and code enforcement can just work it out.
Brenda, somebody can write it. Call me, I'll write it.
I'll just get you, we'll look at this about the
Sure.
citation. Look, and we'll get that.
Yeah, we can get it worked, you know, we can work something out.
Good.
On the camera truck, it's in, just across the river in Beavers, from St. Louis. We sent it up to, we're having generator problems. The truck itself runs off that, but all of the camera equipment, everything runs off a separate generator that's on a special type of electrical cycling stuff. I thought they had some parts ordered when they came in, they don't work. They're trying to find us a new generator. The problem is the truck's old enough. Honda's the engine, they changed all the engines, they don't make that particular one anymore. The generator's a little bit bigger, anyway, it won't fit the hole. So we're not back to square one, we're not out of business, but we're working, we're scrambling, trying to make and modify it and get that back in service. We're working on the Volkswagen grant I told you all about previously, where we can replace trucks at 50%, or we're just replacing the engine in one for 75%, with the grant paying for that much. So we're looking to see what we can do to replace Barney. $360,000, $380,000 truck for half price seems to make sense for us to present to you all, from work out some options on financing. We purchased a new bed for one of our trucks a couple of years ago. Just had the radiator built in it, and, you know, it's in pretty good shape, got new tires on it. So we're looking at possibly just replacing that engine in it, even though it's 20 years old. we think we'll still have a very good serviceable truck for very, very few dollars in that matter. And then if possible, depending on the funding, we're filling out all the paperwork, go ahead and replace one of our other small dump trucks, the semi-axle, high side. We'll be prepared to see then, when we get prices in, where we stand on all that. Snipe Slough, in Buffalo are set to be cleaned out on a USDA grant through the county commission. They've gotten started a little bit on Snipe Slough. They've mowed up to 8th Street where they can get to the ditch. Again, we've got structures built and privacy fences built on the drainage ditch right away. Don Collins met with David Ross yesterday and they walked a lot of it. I was with Don this morning and we drove around and looked at quite a bit of it. And unfortunately, to do the city a decent job of cleaning out that ditch and draining it, they're gonna have to get some cooperation from some landowners to get their privacy fences down. Or, I mean, it'll still help us, but here in the city, we'll still have big shoals and actually some trees still growing in it that they can't even mow. So they've done a little bit of digging, just off the north side of the north bypass. Then went back down and started at 412 down there at the irrigation companies and are working their way back around to give the private property owners a chance to get their fences down. So hopefully we'll make some progress on that. We figure we'll probably run into the same situation when we get on Buffalo, but that's gonna be a little bit farther down the road. But are making some progress on getting that stuff done too. 3rd Street, we're still working on a little bit of paperwork on that. As soon as we can get that done, the contractor's ready to go. The pipe could be here, I think, by Monday. So, I'm not saying it will be, I mean, we're just depending on, getting it done, but I think it could be available as soon as Monday to get this done. So, we're seemingly making some good progress along the roads here, get this done. That's all I have. Thank you, Brent.
Well, the next thing on there is it says approve Big River telephone service or New Wave continuation. I guess most everybody here knows that we have New Wave service right now. And some representatives from New Wave were supposed to be here tonight to present their bid. We have a bid from Big River. But right before quitting time today, New Wave called and said that they could not do what they had proposed that they could do, and so they backed out. So
Where do we stand with existing contract?
they're gonna let us out of it.
Okay. We got that in writing?
Not yet.
That's why they told us, so you've been after them to get them in writing.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen.
Can we make it with the old, use existing handsets?
Which option we're gonna go with?
Can we use some of the existing
Some we
equipment?
can't. Some are not good, but some we could.
So we can go with this price, half price we use?
We could.
And it would be just as fine.
That's what they say.
All right.
We'll utilize what we can.
And we can get that price if we use existing equipment.
As the previous discussion was going forward, once we get past the first equipment outlay, at that point we start saving about 50% on the whole bill.
Monthly bill.
Long range is gonna be a real boost for us. This time we have ordinance.
Yeah, it's a rezoning, and it's a rezoning of a lot that's on Ely, from R1 single family to general business. The first reading is an ordinance rezoning a certain parcel from R1 single family residential to to B2 general business, as part of the northwest quarter of section 31, township 19 north, range 10 east, in the city of Kennett, Duncan County, Missouri.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second reading, an ordinance rezoning a certain parcel from R1 single family residential to B2 general business, as part of the northwest quarter of section 31, township 19 north, range 10 is east, in the city of Kennett, Duncan County, Missouri. And we'll point out that the planning and zoning board did recommend passage of this.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Motion carries.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
The next item we're gonna table for tonight, some of our communiques didn't get through, so we'll put that off for the next meeting. This time I'd like to appoint Bill Palmer to replace Kenny Wilson on the Human Resources Committee.
Phew. Well, I don't know about that one.
Feel sorry for you.
Motion.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstain?
Didn't you?
Motion carries, thank you, Bill. This time I really have no official report for you, other than, since our last meeting, I've had several ongoing conversations with the appropriate parties regarding formation of a Kennett Township. As expected, we've already gone some flack over it, but that's okay. If you ever see anything nowadays goes 100%, let me know, I'd like to do that, but we're still proceeding to go forward, and Mr. McVeigh will be our guiding light to get into this, and I have talked to the presiding commissioner, just FYI, so that he knows what we're doing and what we're up to, so that will be proceeding.
I can tell you that in order to pass, it's difficult. To get the petition on the ballot, it takes signatures of 1/4 of the registered voters in the Independence Township, and then there'd be an election, and it would take 2/3 majority to win. So they've set the bar high.
Okay. And you have anything about the timetable when the petition has to be in to be on the?
I really don't.
Okay. We'll get it back on that time.
Yeah.
I'll ask you one question here. If this thing comes together and we start getting a petition, would it be legal to set up a table in the courthouse hallway and ask people to sign the petition too?
Yes.
Good. I volunteer. This time we'll open the floor for public comments. Someone like to address the council? Have to flip the coin, see who's first.
That's what I was back here.
State your name, please.
I talked with Mitzi Dell and Met Skelton in the past 2 days, and Met says he's ready. Mitzi says she's ready. She'd like to get on board, get this thing back out for bid. Everything's ready to go. So we need to have a meeting, sit down, and go from there.
Okay.
This was a question that while talking with Metz, he had referred to a conversation you and him had last week.
Okay.
That you stated to him that this project was not gonna get done. And I asked his permission to bring that up as part of the discussion here. Is that your wishes that this project doesn't get done?
First off, that's not exactly what I said.
Okay.
The words that I remember very well regarding everything that's been going on and everything's happening, that's the end of it. I made the comment that If it continues this pace, this will die a natural death.
And it would die a natural death because of, why?
Because
We've got several,
Well,
you know,
uh,
40,000 plus a month coming in from the stormwater drainage. So money can come from that. We've got 500,000 from the grant. So,
with a 1.1 price tag on the project,
no, the project, the bid was
71.
okay.
There was $120,000 of static cost, Mitzi's, financial.
And so it was
That
still,
totals just under $1.1 million.
okay. And so, you know, a year's worth coming in is, you know, we're looking 500,000 plus from that aspect. I mean, you've been laying money back aside for Third Street now, we find out at the last
years.
meeting.
For 6
Yeah.
years.
Okay,
Yeah,
and,
there's a street caving in and people.
yeah, I
drive
mean,
down,
it's been
so
closed for
that's-
6
that's
years, and
priority
so,
over a sidewalk.
but the aspect of it is from the outside looking in, we see money coming in from the stormwater drainage. Plus, you know, blacktop can come from another department. That's why whenever I started with all this process, we came to you guys asking, where can we take all these different funds from for this project, not just one?
I don't think we know until we get it all, you know, get our bid. I
Okay.
mean, is what it boils down to. We've got money set aside.
We had a
for the
price tag
blacktop.
of 700,000 and the bid came in at 1.1.
Yeah, so,
So that's where we stand.
so my biggest fear with this is
We don't
that
have
that's being.
$700,000 to drive
Okay,
that.
yes.
Period.
But, you know, we spend this on Third Street, we're having 40 to 50,000 a month come in from stormwater now. You know, if this project isn't,
But we can put all that money in one project.
okay, but, you know, there's lots of other projects, but
Like I
what
said,
I'm saying
Third
is,
Street has been going on for 6 years.
Yeah.
We have to prioritize that
this one's
project.
been going on for a lot longer, but Third Street is definitely, you've been having, you know, the community ask for years to fix St. Francis. 19, what was it, we brought it up with the commercial?
People on Third Street's been asking for years to fix their street in front of their house.
Yes, I understand it, and it's needed to be done.
So, I mean, that's been going on for 6 years, and so you think we're just gonna take $700,000 and put a sidewalk
No.
in?
No, but the aspect is that this is being set out in the public by the mayor. That may be one of the reasons why we only got one bid, because he's,
No, I don't think that's the case.
Oh.
so,
Yeah.
It was
That's probably
advertised and we only
it was
had
advertised, but if,
one bid.
so,
After we didn't do the
We'd like to have more than one
Missy
bid.
did the advertising for the bid.
she did the advertising, but if there's a negative connotation coming from the council or anybody that works with this,
Well,
then,
your description's negative, mine's factual.
okay. But it's still, I mean, we still have until January 21, 2021. So if it doesn't get done this summer, coming up, meaning the summer of 2019, we have the summer of 2020, which is more than enough time to get, with the new revenues that are coming in, the money in there. Instead of giving the state back $500,000 cost, and then paying the contractors, or not the contractors, but our grant writers, our, their legal fees and all that, and approximately, you know, $120,000. You know, it's an aspect.
There's no decisions that have been made. We're waiting for that bid to come in. We're gonna get together, have our meeting, we're gonna get the bids going. That's what's gonna happen.
I remember talking about this when I first came along. The bid was, or what I thought was a bid, but it was not a bid, what do we call it? Estimate or whatever?
It was an estimate.
Yeah.
It was 700,000, so it was gonna cost the city 200,000. Then it came in at 971 plus the other 120, so it's at 1.1 million. And I believe that's where,
Yeah, the original estimate that we turned in was 760. With our high bid, with our high estimated bid was 850. One was from Knuckles Brothers, the other one was from Chester Bross. A brother, is it Bross or Brothers? B-R-O-S. Bross, okay. They came in at the cheaper one at the 760 mark for the estimate.
did they actually put in a bid though?
No, that was an estimate.
That was an estimate.
So therefore, and I just well, not outside looking in, because I'm inside now, but, I think that in lies the problem. We need to wait on that next bid to come in cheaper and affordable.
Hoping for more than one bid.
Hoping for more than one bid, where it's actually bidding more versus just this is what we'll do it for, nobody else will do it.
Yeah, and so, but, you know, I brought it up at the last meeting that Metz was ready, and he's ready again.
We're waiting for that bid. We're gonna
For which bid?
we're gonna rebid the project, right?
Yes, but we need to have a meeting so that Mitzi and Metz can,
Yeah,
Put it back out there.
I should have mentioned that during my report that we're gonna have a meeting anyway. We have to have one before the next, city council meeting, so what day are we trying to do it on?
At this time, I'm not ready to have all the figures ready for
Okay,
you.
we'll send something out, we'll get a message out, okay, on when we're gonna have it.
okay,
All right, but it'll be before the next city council meeting.
okay.
All right, we got several issues we need to deal with, that being one of them.
All right,
All right?
all right, appreciate it.
Keep it, if you don't
Secured
hear,
a copy
if
of
you
what?
don't hear from me, you holler at me.
Okay,
I secured a copy of the revised print today from Metz. Got it in Brenda's office now, so you can look at it and
Okay,
see it, and see if there's got any questions about it, and
Great,
go forward, trying to move the project forward.
okay.
okay, great.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you, Stan.
I came to do something a little bit different. A lot of times this gets hairy up here, and I know, I've been part of a little bit of it back and forth, and it's not fun, but I want to share something with everyone of you. If y'all are on South Walnut, drive down South Walnut at 203 South Walnut, and look at that house. It's an old house that was built in 1920-something.
On the corner?
No, the old yellow house there, and here's why I'm here, because I want y'all to see this. I want to shake this man's hand right here, and let me tell you why. Right after we bought that house, it caught fire, and we didn't even have insurance on it. That man right there went in the house burning and saved that house. We need to be proud of what this man has done on the fire department, because we got a good one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir, and sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Council, do y'all have anything to bring up? No, we'll adjourn the regular meeting and give about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before we do it, closed session.
Motion, second.
Second. Motion.
Yes.
All right.